Starting it off. So the Colts right now just lost to the Commanders 17-16. Probably should have won that game. Matt Ryan, is he hurt? Are they just benching him? Jonathan Taylor's not doing much. The defense is playing solid, but, I mean, the team's, 3-4-1 now. Just lost to Taylor Heineke and those boys. So, I mean, what are y'all thinking for the Colts? Do y'all think they clean house, or do y'all think they kind of keep the ship how it is? How would y'all proceed with that?
I think they're going to have to because, I mean, they already said Matt Ryan's done for the year. They already, not injury, but because just they want to start Ellinger for the year, I guess, and just see what he's got.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I think Eberflus is definitely going to get fired. I just don't know if they're going to go away with Ballard too. I mean, they probably it wouldn't hurt to do both.
You mean Reich?
Yeah, shit, yeah. Reich and I'm looking at the wrong thing. But yeah, I mean, I think losing both because I was going into losing both Sirianni and Eberflus, which was both guys that Reich came in with. That's clearly fucking them up because their defense is still hanging along, but their offense is
Defense has been holding up.
Defense has been holding up, but their offense is 30th in the league right now, scoring 16 points a game. And it looks like, I mean, they just fired their offensive coordinator too, so they're, trying to hopefully hold it together and, change direction and how the season's going. But I think it definitely ends with Reich being fired. Don't know about Ballard though.
Yeah,
I'm gonna. Yeah, I think they got to get rid of their whole coaching staff, honestly, and most likely GM as well, because they can't keep making the mistakes they're doing with these quarterbacks.
Yeah,
I like Ellinger. I think that he adds something to their offense, but I mean, they got to figure it out.
Yeah, they look rough right now, and in my opinion, I think it honestly stems from Chris Ballard. I think it stems all the way to the very top. And I don't understand the direction of the Colts. Like when Andrew Luck had his injury fiasco, whatever, he retired in 2018. But, I mean, since then, they've had a QB carousel, including Jacoby Brissett, Brian Hoyer, Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, and now we have the tremendous Matt Ryan, Sam Ellinger duo. But it's like, what the fuck is Chris Ballard doing? Like in 2019, whenever they got rid of Luck, he was praised for constructing this roster and then saving all this cap and making all these moves. But, I mean, what has he done since then? In 2020, when Brady was on the market, they were one of the finalists to get Brady, and Brady mentioned that he would like to potentially go to the Colts because at the time they had one of the best O-lines in the league. They had one of the best running games and a badass defense too. Instead, they signed Phillip Rivers to a 1-year, $25 million contract. We all know how that goes. And then following up to 2021, they decide to go get Carson Wentz when, Matthew Stafford, the Rams traded a lot to get him. But that's a guy that was on the market that they could have potentially, traded out for and got. And then we go back to the cap room thing to where that's where people praise Ballard. Oh, he saves his cap. But what has he done? Like, Michael Pittman's a good receiver.
He doesn't.
But outside of Michael Pittman, they have no help. And if you have an old-ass Matt Ryan and Carson Wentz as your quarterback, you got to have weapons surrounding them. In 2020 and 2021, too, those two quarterbacks, Wentz and Ryan, have been their leading cap guys. Beyond that, they're not paying anyone shit. So I just don't understand the direction of where they're going. But I personally would not tear it down because there is a lot of talent there still. I think the O-line will figure it out. But I think you got to make a splash for a QB. You got to trade up and draft a QB. And I think you got to get Chris Ballard the fuck out of there. I think Chris Ballard's the most overrated general manager in the league.
Well, the thing is, they've always been pretty much a quarterback away the last 5 years, but their reluctancy to go out and get that quarterback and try and basically get these, veterans who if they go back to when they were, the MVP caliber player, they'd be awesome. But of course, a 38-year-old Phillip Rivers and a old ass Matt Ryan and a Wentz who's washed. He basically had 12 games looking like an MVP and never looked the same since that ACL injury. And they definitely need to go get some more skill position guys. So, I mean, the entire team is good. It's just they don't really have a quarterback, and they never went to go get one. So the cap space thing is great, but they did need to, whether it was trade up and go draft a quarterback or, trade for Deshaun Watson or, there are several other things they could have done, and they just haven't. So that could cost Ballard his job.
They haven't at all. And it's just they have not used their resources properly at all. It's like if you have that cap, you use that cap to either go get a rookie quarterback and then you sign pieces around them, or B, you go out and sign free agents surrounding your veteran quarterback that's absorbing all the cap. And they got the veteran quarterback the past few years that was trash, but they didn't surround him with anything. And they've been great at drafting
have
and
the cap.
developing players. Yeah, they've had the cap. Like they've been one of the.
They just don't do anything with it.
They don't do anything, and that's why I think it stems at the very top with Chris Ballard. If I was a Colts fan, I would have serious issues with him being my GM and with all the praise, because he's one of these GMs that he's like one of the known GMs that gets all this praise, and I would love for someone to tell me why.
I mean, I'm not going
I
to
would
say he's
love for someone
overrated
to.
because he's clearly good at evaluating talent and good with money. It's just he didn't go out and make the big splash to get the quarterback.
But is he even the guy, though? Yes, they are good at drafting and developing players, but is he even that ear that's making those moves?
I mean, I would assume so. I mean, things kind of turned around for them drafting once they named him GM.
Trade for Buckner.
Yeah, I mean, you did trade for Buckner.
That was a good
That
deal.
was that, but you got to do that for a quarterback. Like, you got to trade the first round pick to grab a quarterback. And that's what he hasn't done, and it very well could cost him his job. But I think to say he's the most overrated GM in the league, I think that might be a bit much because he is good at evaluating talent and cap space.
But my thing is with that talent that's getting evaluated, I don't think he's the guy that's going out there and saying, let's pick this guy. I think it's whoever's the head of their scouting department. He's the guy that's in charge of the cap and in charge of constructing the roster with the finances that he has to his disposal, and he hasn't used them for shit. It's like in 2020, 2021, 2019, when your roster's the most stacked it's going to be, and your highest paid player is a shitty quarterback absorbing all of that, and then like DeForest Buckner's next in line, and then after
Quentin
that,
Nelson.
But he's been on a rookie deal for a while.
No, they signed to an extension.
Yeah,
I'm talking like 2019, 2020
Okay,
though.
yeah.
Like they didn't use it. Like they wasted that offensive line.
Yeah, but I do think that their drafting got better once he got there. And their record hasn't been since Reich and Ballard have been there with the shitty quarterbacks they've had that they probably shouldn't have gotten. Their record has still been good, and they've made the playoffs. They probably should have made the playoffs last year too. But either way, no. The biggest fault of him is not going out and getting that quarterback. That's the biggest downfall.
Yeah. Joe, you got anything else?
I mean, you were talking about how they have a good record the past few years, but I mean their division is. Look at their division, like
they have the
it's
Titans
trash.
and
So
nobody
like
else.
they're not. And really the Titans aren't even really that good. They just got Henry, so it's.
And they got Braves.
They're competitive, but it's not really like they're doing much with it.
Yeah. I mean,
No.
the Titans benefit tremendously from how shit this division is and how shit it has been for a while now. But going beyond the Colts here, I don't understand their deal here.